this is the first time I'm getting to say this publicly. I remember my first time of meeting my mom. I met her for the first time as an adult. We had the days of using all these Sagem, all those phones. We had communicated on phone that we should meet at so place. So we passed each other.
Oh my God.
Without recognizing each other. So I used to be very suicidal. I've had several suicide attempts, drank, cheek, did all those stuff. I remember watching a movie where somebody committed suicide in the movie. I loved the way it happened.
Wow.
So I went inside to repeat it. So the person plugged the boiling ring. In those days of boiling ring, some of you are Gen Zs, you don't know boiling rings. And then baited and put the boiling ring in the armpit. So I did exactly just that, and I switched on the light. Then NEPA took light.
Oh, thank God. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back again to another Talk with Bliss session. My name is Blessing Betker, and I'm your host for today. And see me smiling, I'm grinning from left to right because today we have an amazing person, a very, very special person for a special conversation today. And that is the person of Apostle Femi Lazarus. He is a catalyst. He's a leader in every sense. He's one of the leading voices in Africa, and he's the lead pastor of the Light Nation Global and the founder of the Femi Lazarus Ministry, under which we have the Voice of Africa by Africans, we have the Free at Last Rehabilitation, we have Femi Lazarus Mentorship, and a lot more. And we are so excited to have you on our podcast today. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you, sir. It's such an honor and a privilege to have you seated here.
That was a powerful introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to remove that out of this. Well, I was going to tell them that you're my spiritual father. And there is a reason why I want to say it, that you're my spiritual father, because I don't just see you as a spiritual father. I regard you as my father, because you are that father that I never had. And I just feel like I need to tell them that it is my father seated here. Thank you so much, sir. The way I met you till today is one of those encounters that reminds me of how intentional God is about orchestrating a man's journey. I remember that I had been following you just because I saw one of my brother post you on Facebook, and I started following you. And I was following you just listening to your message, but not knowing much about you.
Yeah.
You know, where I would just go on Telegram. I was not even seeing your face, so I would just listen to your sermon, and that's it. And then I did not know your church. I did not know anything. And then one particular day in February 2023, I was reading this particular word down because I always write every dream, everything I feel like is a vision. So I had a dream. And in that dream, I saw that a church called SLC came to Kanu. Now, how I knew it was related to you is because I saw you came to the program. I saw some fathers of faith, and I saw that they gave us a book, and in that book there was like a yellow color and all, and with the SLC there and all of that. So I woke up, and then I saw that. I called one of my friends and said, Buki, you have to be in this program. You have to be in this program and all. So when I woke up and all, I just thought about it. I was like, okay, Apostle Femi Lazarus. So I went to your Instagram. I think that was the first time I checked out your Instagram. And then I now saw that you were the lead pastor of SLC. I said, wow, that's what I saw in my dream. Then I checked it out. So the next research for me is to check your location. Then I saw Ibadan. I was in Kanu. So I was like, there is no coloration between Ibadan and Kanu, because most times, you know, people in the West, it's just the West, and the North, it's just a wide divide. So I forgot about that dream and all. Then I was in Lagos. That was in October. Then I saw you had posted that there is an apostolic meeting happening. I remember that. I cannot forget how I felt. Like, wow, really? I went back to that dream. I was like, can you imagine something I thought about, something I dreamt about is coming to pass? And that was how we had that program in Kanu. And I met you for the first time. And one thing that stood out to me is the fact that you said something to me that few days before that time, you know, God has said that to me in private, and nobody knows about it. And it has to do with my calling. And the moment you said that, I just knew. And now you want to know something that is very funny, sir.
Yes.
In Abuja here, that girl I called, that particular friend, we used to attend the same church when we were in Kanu. She attends Light Nation now. She's planted here.
Are you serious?
That's how, like, thinking about that particular, I have it written down in my notes, and there are times that I go back to it, because sometimes I just want to be reminded of how God just plans people's journey and all. And ever since I have been under your leadership, I've experienced growth. I have experienced it in a way that I cannot. It would be so unfair to talk about my journey in life and not mention your impact. Thank you so much, sir, for all that you do. I strongly believe that in this lifetime, we might not be able to appreciate you enough. But I know that, when I get to heaven, when I see you, I know that we are going to see the rewards. We're going to see that only God can crown your efforts. Thank you so much, sir, for your invite. I'm getting so emotional. You said I was not going to.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I know that you don't like a lot of praises, but I just have to say this is my opportunity to. I'm so sorry. So I want to begin. We want to begin this podcast today, and I want to show you pictures.
Okay.
I'll show you some pictures. First and foremost.
Interesting.
Another one.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you guys are going to see the picture I'm showing him.
Interesting. Yeah. You took your time to print all this.
Yes, sir.
Interesting, yeah.
And the reason why I'm showing you this is because many a times, sometimes your throwbacks come up. And anytime I see them, for me, it's a reminder of, wow, there is a God that lifted a man. And it's a reminder that sometimes we look at the now, but we forget that there is a process.
Yeah.
We look at the now, and it's even very easy for young people. Sometimes I have to remind myself that you can't be, you must know that even those people you're looking at, that there is a process, there is a journey to where they are now. And so I want us to go back to talk about the process, to talk about the journey and all of that.
I'm fully
all right.
ready.
So first and foremost, I want to ask about how growing up was for you, like your background, how it was.
Yeah. Interesting. So let me first say something about these pictures. As funny as they may look, my life had changed when I took these pictures. So this was even, this was not these were not the bad days. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember I always used to struggle to walk because of fasting. I was maybe a bit whitish like this. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but, it's not something I've really talked so much about, just maybe just here and there.
Yes.
I think in one program years ago, I said it using this analogy of 3 seasons of the life of every man, morning, afternoon, and night, to illustrate that I think I belong to the class of those that were born into the night. Wow. In the sense that life really began from some of the worst experience. And sometimes, in all honesty, I remember I was in the village with one of my sisters, my aunts, and she looked at me and she broke down in tears. And then she said, if anyone had said, this boy will survive, they would have argued. So it was some, roller coaster. We all don't choose the situation that we are born in. And sometimes also, it takes maturity to also recognize that the people responsible for you, if they knew better, they would have done better. And this first time I'm getting to say this publicly. I remember my first time of meeting my mom. I met her for the first time as an adult.
Wow.
And we had, the days of using all these Sagem, all those phones, we had communicated on phone that we should meet at so place. So we passed each other.
Oh my God.
Without recognizing each other. I didn't recognize her. She didn't recognize me.
Oh my God.
And we're looking for each other. So eventually, we had to get a place as
a meeting point.
Yeah, like a landmark. And then I'm wearing so color of clothes. That was how I met her.
Wow.
For the first time, to recognize her. So the conditions, and maybe sometimes the reason why I hold back on this is because there's what I intend to do with it. The conditions that happens to a child that the mother is not around. I had I can't call that fair share, full share of that. So, and that in itself as a way of reconditioning you, as a way of shaping your outlook towards life. But now when I look at it, I think when I look at the number of people whose kind of problems people don't even know exist, that God has used our ministry to touch, I think it would have been impossible if I didn't have that kind of start. So, yeah. And but I must say this in all this, that what I did not get in having a mother around, I got in my dad. In the sense that he's that man that will go all his way to make sure that the child is compensated for. I gave my life to Christ through him.
Wow.
Because at some point I became stubborn. And so I used to be very suicidal. I've had several suicide attempts.
Wow.
Because of all those situations.
Wow.
Drank, jig, did all those stuff. I remember watching a movie where somebody committed suicide in the movie. And I loved the way it happened.
Wow.
So I went inside to repeat it. So the person plugged the boiling ring. In those days of boiling ring, some of you are Gen Zs, you didn't know boiling rings. And then baited and put the boiling ring in the armpit. So I did exactly just that. And I switched on the light.
To shock
Then
you.
NEPA took light.
Oh, thank God.
I think that's where I became grateful that Nigeria wasn't good anyways. So this was 1990. I'm trying to remember precisely. When they took light, I screamed. And they thought it was frustration for the light. But I was actually shouting on God. And I was saying, they won't let me live. You won't let me die. So eventually, shortly after, took a while after that, I met a friend who made me understand, who saw my struggles and saw that I had no plan for the future, because I thought I would have ended myself before then. So he found a way to make me to understand the implication of suicide and got me to start falling in love with the Bible. My dad being a clergy, I didn't want to follow his ways. I go to church late when he's preaching and sag my trouser and bounce in. Just anything for anybody to feel my frustration. When I gave my life to Christ through my dad, I went for a party right there in Kano. And I was the DJ in the party. But because my friend was the one whose party it was, I also had to double as the MC. So there's this thing we call Devil's Basket. Do you know it?
No.
Yeah. You know the book of Habakkuk. You know Devil's Basket. There was this thing called Devil's Basket, where you pick some weird stuff they've written in papers. None of them is so nice. So the content of that thing was that you had to pick a girl, dance with the girl, her feet should not touch the ground, kiss the girl, do all that. Despite all my stubbornness, that was a no-go area. So I was just frustrated. I told the girl to pick. She was supposed to pick a guy, then the girl said, I pick you. I was like, nah. No. And that's because of the kind of fear of God that my dad had found a way. Despite all those things, there was a limit.
Yes.
So I got back home that night frustrated. It was a Sunday night. And of course, the gate will be locked. We know how we jump the gate. For the first time, I saw the gate wide open. And as I was tiptoeing inside, I saw my dad sitting and waiting for me. I mean, if he's going to shout, I'm cool. You shout and go. But he looked at me and asked a question. He said, if anyone say, are you born again? What will you say? I said, of course. That's how I said, of course, I'm born again. He looked at me. I saw he couldn't cry. He couldn't shout. Then he said, if you are righteous, you're righteous. If you're not, you're not. And he said, good night. And when he said, I went inside, slammed the door, but I couldn't sleep. And I wept throughout that night. And that's when I asked Jesus to come into my life. That's how I got saved, really.
Wow.
Yeah. So shortly after that time, now I'm saved, but I still wanted to die. But now I prefer that someone will give it to me as a martyr. So that was when I told my friend we need to go to a place. And some very staunch clerics are there. I don't want to mention the name of the place, not so stereotype. And I looked for someone I felt would be the most radicalized person there. So that in the way I would preach, person can get angry and call his colleagues and they can do what they have to do. So I went to that person, but I spotted. And I preached. And everything I said to him, he didn't say a word, didn't flinch, just kept on smiling. I was preaching to him in a way that would get him offended, so he could be triggered. Then, when I was done preaching, he looked at me straight in the eyes and placed his right hand on my shoulder, my left shoulder, and called me by my name, Femi. I know why you came. So something happened the moment, and I'm telling you a story that the person that was there with me is still alive.
Wow.
The moment he placed his hand on my shoulders, I fell. He was dressed in that, all those trousers that was with ground.
Yeah.
And he had his cap on. He asked them to pick me up. He had a friend there, then with my friend. So he said, take him up. Then he held me again. Then recounted everything about my life. All the attempts I had made to kill myself, he mentioned. He also now mentioned the last food I ate before coming there. And he told me the reason why I ate that food. Then told me what my future would look like and what I must do. And when I was just weeping while he was talking, because as he was talking, it was the first time, it was like it was X-raying me. So then I asked him, please, at least, let me know your name. He looked at the person I met with him, smiled, and I said, well, you can call me Emmanuel. So I said, thank you, sir. Thank you, Brother Emmanuel. Then I said, can I get your phone number? Just something. I need you in my life. He looked at that person. They always look at themselves and smile. Then he said, we don't use phone. Then I said, sir, okay, let's do it like this.
Wow.
I will come to your house.
Wow.
Give me the address to your house. I said, come to number so-and-so street. When you come, ask of me. Then following morning, around 8 o'clock, I took bike. You know the way Kano used to be, I take bike everywhere. And drove there. The street he mentioned is at a place in Kano they call Odutola Street. I can't remember the number categorically now. And but when I got to the number that following morning, it was a church called Emmanuel something. So I kept on knocking that church. And again, I'm saying that the friend that we had this experience together is still alive.
Wow.
Finally, somebody came out who said he's the pastor of that church. And so they had a vigil overnight. That's why I was there. So I said, please, sir, one of your members, Brother Emmanuel, maybe a pastor here, just told me that he lives here. That's the only church in that number. The pastor said, there's no Emmanuel here. I said, no, he said he lives here. He said there's no Emmanuel here. So I said, no, this is the number he gave to me. He said, see, my friend, this church were just less than 20, and I know all of them. There's no Emmanuel amongst them. And that's how I left with disappointment. And of course, I had the voice when I was on my way home. The rest, they say, is history. Thank you.
Wow. So as at that time, you did not understand that encounter. Did you understand
I
it?
did not consider it an encounter because it felt normal.
Wow.
The only difference was that while he talked, it was like there was a force that I couldn't stand every statement. The second part is I didn't want him to touch me anymore. Because every time he touched me, it was like there was a surge of currents. It wasn't painful, but I didn't like the fact that I was falling up and down. Again, so that was, I wept. I can't describe that experience. I wept. So I must, it makes sense to me when I read the story of the woman at the well of Samaria in John 4. For someone who can see your life and didn't come to judge you but to help you.
Wow.
I couldn't stop weeping. So, but yeah, later it made sense to me. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. Wow. I'm so blown away. Wow. Anytime you're teaching, you're always sharing about encounters, stories about encounters. And I strongly believe that if somebody is going to walk with God really strong, at least once in a lifetime, they should encounter God. And I want to ask that question for a young person, someone trying to grow in their walk with God. How can they walk in that part of having encounters? What can they do?
There was a time I was very particular about encounters, and for what we call it, I think I've had some serious ones.
Yeah.
I don't talk about them anymore. But I feel that if an average Christian stay with the word, it will be sufficient. Only then will you be able to put anything you see in scriptural context. Because many people have lost the journey of faith because of curiosity that was not balanced on the word, and they lost it. So I feel that, we stay with the word and prayer, like Peter said in Acts 6. I think we're good.
Yeah.
And any other thing that, because these are spectacular acts, it means we can't tune it on or tune it off. And too much curiosity in that area can make one prone to demonic spirits that can now appear like angel of light.
Yeah.
And when there's no word base, the person can be lost.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, so I want to ask, you've shared a little bit about how you grew up, and I can tell that it was not an easy journey, even though there are a lot of things that you've not shared.
There's no ease in it.
Wow. So my question is that a lot of times when you ask people, why are you the way you are? Their excuse most times is, oh, this is the kind of family I came out from. In fact, that's what they always talk about. I know that can be valid because I'm not trying to invalidate how you feel.
Yeah.
But how come despite coming out from that kind of, growing up in that kind of environment, that kind of way, how did you still manage to rise?
I must also acknowledge again my dad. I saw some things in him. He was the first person I saw doing 40 days dry. So when I read about Jesus, it's believable. I saw raw miracles through him for the first time. So I don't join people in doubting miracles, because I've seen him saying, shout hallelujah in crusades. And madness left. So it was possible to take off from there. Of course, I had to fight my way. First, there's a spiritual part. I have shared it before. I fasted till I started vomiting blood. And I say jokingly that some of us had done some bad things to our body because we weren't wise then.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are two aspects of that fight that I've seen, I've been through. First is the spiritual part, to break through in the realm of the spirit, to stay with the word and prayer till you hit the note of victory.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is the psychological part.
Mm.
So I wasn't born knowing how to learn early. So I had troubles learning. But it became sorted. And I don't think from that moment till I left campus, I was ever second in anything academically.
Wow.
So I had fair share, but I think the most important one, apart from the spiritual one, is the mental transformation. Through exposure, through books, through growth. That also became the longest. Yeah. But it was a fight for my very existence, knowing fully well that if something is not done, I'll be grounded. Yeah. And it's easier to go for what you want when you know vividly what you don't want. So I have a very clear picture of the kind of future that I don't want. I have a very clear picture of the kind of woman I must not marry. I had a very clear picture of the kind of environment I must not raise my children. I have a very clear picture of what I want my profile to look like in my old age. So it became easy to pursue it.
So how did your taste bud change that you started to have a clear picture? Because many a times when people come from a place where they don't even see a lot of those things as a picture, you were saying it then that you did not even desire much until you met a friend.
Yeah.
And also, how did you even build yourself to that point where you started having that taste for, okay, I want my future to be like this. I want, those kind of things.
Exposure.
Okay.
I remember trekking from, this may shock you. I trekked from Latif Jakonde to Oregon. Anybody who have lived in Lagos will have an idea of what that is.
Wow.
Just to have an exposure.
Wow.
And when I got to the venue, they turned me back and said, you can't enter. This meeting is not for you. Just by the way I was dressed.
Wow.
So I've always understood the part of getting a clear picture of what you want. So it becomes easy for you to replicate it. So I say most part of the change of taste bud happened through seeing examples of where I want to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. So I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
How did you receive the call into ministry?
God, I gave God several missed calls. But it was a funny one too. We've honored Baba missions several times.
Yeah.
And probably many people don't know why. I was a first timer in the church that he pastors. He was pastoring then. It was a model parish. But he was doing that from mission field back to the church mission field. So we'll hand it to students and he'll go back. So my roommate had left with the key of the room and he was playing keyboard for that church.
Okay.
He was a very good keyboardist. So I went to that church to get the key of the room. So I sat at the back, and as I was playing, I kept doing like this key. I sent one usher, tell him I need key, I need to get out of here. He didn't answer. So he just kept playing and doing stuff. And I saw this very old man came in. And then it was Bible study. So he asked me a question. So he asked the church a question. And people raised their hands to answer. I didn't. So he pointed at me and said, "You, what's your name?" I said, "Femi Lazarus." He laughed. He said, "Which of the Lazarus?" I told him. And he said I should stand up again. And then call somebody and say, "That's our pastor."
Wow.
I didn't answer your question. You don't know me. You don't know where I'm from. You don't even know the life I'm living. You're talking, I'm your pastor. What kind of joke is that? That's why you should not come to a church like this. All my assumptions are right. I'm out of here. Before you said Jack Robinson, I sneaked out. Never stepped there again. Then I started falling sick every week. Admitted in the hospital, different hospitals. Then finally, my roommate, who was still playing keyboard for that church, I had to go see him and say, "Baba, my friend is not fine." He told him one thing. He said, "Tell him to accept the call of God upon his life." Long story cut short, I went back and started serving
In the church.
in the church. And he stayed a little longer. Then he still handed over the church to me.
Wow.
And now, he never told me anything till 2024.
Wow.
That was when he said to me that time he made that move because he had seen me in a vision. So he recognized when I came in.
Hey. Wow.
So I was like, oh. If that man had not given me the opportunity, I really do not think anything I'm doing today I would have done. Because I was going to be in the academics or going to go into medicine and surgery. And but majorly in the academics. I envisioned that my life by this time I should have at least 3 PhDs. So I think I probably would have forfeited the call if I had not met that man. But when God was going to solidify it, he showed me a vision. I've never shared this anywhere. Maybe many years ago. In that vision, I saw a small bird was hovering and enjoying the beauty of the skies. And suddenly I saw an hawk flying, pursuing that small bird. And the small bird was maneuvering, but the hawk was pursuing the small bird. And from the sky, the small bird spotted the mother just by a shore of a river, a bank of a river, and dived straight to the mother and landed beside the mother. To my amazement, the hawk landed beside the small bird. Then the small bird began to flap the feathers, trying to get the mother to see. And as I looked closely, I saw that the mother had something like a layer on the eyes, like cataracts. The moment the hawk saw that the mother couldn't see, the hawk now began to move majestically towards the small bird and more like fix in that vision the feather to the neck of the small bird and broke it. Then I woke up. Then God called my attention. He said, the big mother you saw is the church. The small bird are my children. And the hawk is the devil. And gave me the breakdown of that. So I understood that there were certain things that unintentionally may not be noticed or seen, but it's taking people out. Around that lies my assignment.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
and something like that kind of vision, I'm very sure that it will continue to make sense.
Oh, yes.
Anytime you think about it.
I had that same vision 3 times that night.
Wow.
The same vision 3 times that night. I woke up, slept back, had the vision again. Woke up again, had the vision again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And that vision you had, it was getting clearer as time goes on, right?
Oh, yes.
Or you had the full understanding at the beginning?
I mean, I thought I did. I thought I had the understanding. But now I know better that I didn't have the understanding.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Thank God. All right. I want to ask another question.
Yeah.
I'm always interested about, you talk about the 7 years of, let me call it a wilderness season, because it looked like that, where it seems like it was one of, will I say one of the hardest season of your life? But that was it. Yes, one of the hardest season of your life. So I want to ask, how did you enter that season? How did it start? And if you can talk more about that season.
We had finished on campus. We had pastored on campus throughout campus days. I was done. I felt pastoring campus were good. Train people, fellowship can go on, everybody's good. Then I have this friend, he's my friend, he's still my friend. We call him Pastor Sumbo. The other friend that was with me at that time, we call him Pastor Godwin, when I had that encounter.
Wow.
Pastor Sumbo is a very amazing friend. Let me give you something about him. If he boils water, it will burn because he will slip off. So he's just that guy, very smart, very intelligent guy, fears God. And he was the one whose 40th birthday I celebrated a few months ago. We're roommates.
Wow.
But we noticed something about him. If he sleeps, he's going to wake up with a vision that directly addresses something you're going through. So it's our joy for him to sleep off. And you don't wake him. He was like the oracle, just really joking. He had a vision and shared with me the vision he had. He saw that all of us as leaders on campus were cutting grass and clearing a particular place. That when the time was over, everybody was submitting their cutlasses. And then myself and him went to submit ours. And then they said, no, the rest can go. You still have time here. So when he shared that with me, I knew what he was saying, but I need to also pray. So we began to pray about what will be next. And that prayer alone in itself will take the first 2 years out of those 7 years. So it means I didn't go for service until after 2 years. And within those 2 years, we pray, you evangelize, we're studying God's word. I was also doing some few things here and there. Then I went for service. And I was just like, good. Finally, I'm out. I've been planning my life after the service, how I was going to remain in Akure. And something happened. The president of the family house, we call him the Papa, said he perceives in his heart that we all should pray and ask God what will have us do after service. I didn't want to pray that prayer. I felt whatever he wants to do with me is done. I've given him 2 years. I'm good to go. My dad wanted me to go to London University of Tropical Medicine to continue my studies. And in all honesty, I was quite interested. But as we knelt down in that prayer meeting, the Lord said vividly, go back to Ife and finish what you started. That go back will take me another 5 years. Then I saw hell. My dad wasn't pleased. Because he had spent money. And then he was ready to put anything out, just leave this country and go study. I said, no, God said I should be here. It wasn't fun because first there was no accommodation. All the money I saved doing service, I had to sow them as a seed. I remember watching people going for lectures and some going to work, and I would hold the window frame crying in the morning. I'm not a lazy person. Lose me and let me go. What am I doing here? Anyways, that phase lasted another 5 years.
5 years.
Within that time, we're running a ministry, not Light Nation or 12 Light. We call it Friends of the World. So it kick-started within that time. You know, Friends of the World itself is going to be, by August 24, it's going to be 12 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. But finally, a time came that season ended. And church started. And then I finally was allowed to leave the city.
Wow.
I think when my quota was over.
Wow.
But I must say that waiting period shaped me into who I am today. A friend of mine in that season was talking to one of our pastors recently and said, this is what Apostle did differently. When the rest of us were looking for money, he stayed with the calling. And I think that's what saved me. It wasn't pleasant then, but now I'm grateful.
Oh, wow. Wow. So can I ask, sir, what is something from that season that you learned about God and even yourself?
He's never in a hurry. It takes his time. And your pressure, you can't pressure him. If he's not ready, if you are not ready, you're not. Yeah.
Wow. So another thing I want to ask is that, the wilderness season is just, I think it's come from the time that the children of the Israelites, they were in the wilderness.
Yeah.
That's why people refer to it as that. And their journey was meant to be like a 40 days journey that became a 40 years journey. What do you think God wanted you to learn? Because I believe that once God has achieved what he wants to achieve with that season, I feel like the season becomes over. Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes if God cannot achieve what he wants to achieve, it now looks like maybe the season is now prolonged. What do you think is that thing that God wanted to achieve in your life in that season, or wanted to teach you or learn and all of that, and he finally achieved it?
Two things. Number one, nobody's wilderness experience is a doctrine.
Yes, sir.
Number two, God doesn't use suffering to teach us anything.
Yes, sir.
We can suffer, then he takes advantage of it to show us what he has always wanted to show us. I think the scripture I came out of that season with was Deuteronomy 8 verse 3. Says, you shall remember the way which the Lord your God led you in this wilderness for 40 years to test you, to prove you, to humble you, to know what is in your heart, to know whether you deny him or not. Said afterwards, when you became hungry, he fed you with manna, which neither you nor your fathers know anything about, that might make you know that man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. I think the summary of every wilderness is the point where you know that we live by the word, not by bread. That was the summary for me.
Wow. Wow. The moment you realize that, the season.
You're done.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. So I want to talk about something. There's something I noticed about you that I really love, and that's your heart, right? And I know that definitely in ministry you must have faced things like betrayal, sometimes even, being called out and so many things like that. But I still notice something about you, like your heart, because even for me, I'm going to speak for myself, that there are some times that I'm like, I have to protect this my heart too. There are things that just comes at you. And how have you walked this long with God and your heart for people, despite everything? Because sometimes you even share stories of some things and, you might not even talk about it in details, but I can tell that there are so many things, especially around betrayal. How can someone, a believer, still protect their heart and still love people despite things like that?
There's a Yoruba adage. They say a child that says, I cannot come and go and die should not be a chief in his father's house. It will stress you. Being called out, being misunderstood is part of the work. Eventually, I'm not sure anybody has a permanent enemy. People grow and change their stance. And they will even better appreciate you. And also, we too make mistakes. So it's not everything that you do that is perfect. Sometimes you say something, you didn't put it well. and you give room for the misunderstanding. People have betrayed. I've learned in ministry, you breathe in and breathe out. If you don't want to do the both, you suffocate. People will come, people will go. Some will live well, some will not live well. Yes, you'll be hot. I don't think anybody suffers betrayal like the pastor. They'll lie and say many things. The load of the calling is heavier to the extent that you are far from Christ. It's lighter to the degree that you are close. So for me, prayer is not, it's a lifeline. And that's why I think people come around me and get shocked to see the length of times I pray. And I don't talk about it. Because I'm like, should you do any less? I don't have the wisdom to survive, to navigate. I don't have the intel. Why should I not spend time with the one who does? Yeah, so I tell you something, that proximity is what takes away the burden of betrayal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I have one question for Nigerians.
That's the last question, right?
Yes, sir. It's actually the last question. Yes. I just thought about it. So there's been a lot of tension right now in the nation, and it looks like we are praying and there is no results. That's how it looked like. And in this season, I've seen a lot of times that people are frustrated at God. People are like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with Christianity. I'm not going to serve God anymore. And I've had people say things like that. I've had people talk about it. How can we still trust God in this season? How can we not lose our trust for him?
I mean, you grew up in the North.
Yes, sir.
So for we that grew up in the North, this was our normal. So maybe I think we are much better adjusted. The Bible also didn't hide from us the fact that there will be many that will fall away. One of the things I've tried to do in this season is to bring the word of God for what it is. I believe that if we don't understand our role in being salt of the earth, our role in being light of the world, we cannot have a darkness that our absence enabled and not go through the crisis we're going through now. And that's what the whole concept of kingdom is about. And that's why I keep insisting that we must not just see Christianity as a religion, where it's just about some ritual obligation, go to church, come back, just some things you do. If we do that, we all will perish. So when you hear me use the word that Christianity is not a religion and no religion is designed to solve these problems, I'm saying we've got to switch to the kingdom mandate that's been given to us that puts us in the place where we know it's our collective responsibility, both to speak the truth to power, to participate, and become part of the authorities too. Awesome. So I think it will get better to the degree that good people rise. So by good people now, I'm not just talking about Christians, but people who have the intelligence, the morality, and everything needed to solve our problems. What we have now is a template of the absence of those kind of people. If we work on that, then we're good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We have come to the end of this session. Thank you, sir, for coming. We have gained a lot of your wisdom. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, sir.